All right. Good morning, everybody. Thank you all for being here for our installment of Tune Up Tuesday. I have everybody on the laptop over there so I can see comments and things like that. So today we are playing around with a little bit of some lighting stuff as well as a new microphone. So if some things are off, please leave something in the chat so I know that something has gone wrong. All right, but today what we're gonna need a band. All right, you'll need a place to lay for one of our core movements, as well as maybe something for a little bit of balance aid. I've got my foam roller here. You can use a chair or your couch or something like that. All right, and so I'm just gonna let everybody into the room again. Perfect. Again, if you have any comments, questions, or concerns, please leave them in the chat. All right, I'll be able to see that. But we're going to get right into things again. Last week, we started with unilateral movement, moving into single-sided movements. We're going to do something very similar today, working on the back line as well as progressing movements that we've already kind of worked on. All right, and so put those things off to the side. All right, what we're going to start with today is we're going to start with what's called the world's greatest stretch. All right, and so it's a big, long movement. All right, so just follow along as we go. We're going to do 3 of these on each side to get our bodies prepped up. So I'm going to start facing the profile to the camera here. All right, so it's going to start with a big, nice knee hug. All right, so you're going to pull that knee up nice and high. Notice how I have my toes pulled up. All right, that's more a running specific position. So big, nice, high knee hug. You're going to lunge out. You're going to drop down, stretch out the hip flexor as well as the glute and the hamstring, okay? Drop those hands down, all right? You're going to take whatever foot is in front, that hand, you're going to rotate up towards the ceiling, get that nice big rotation there. Put the hand back down, drop back onto the knee, pull the toe back towards you, stretch out that hamstring and that calf, all right? And then step up and repeat, all right? Do all 3 on one side, then go to all 3 on the other, all right? So we're just gonna continue to flow through this. Big, nice high knee hug, lunge it out, stretch out that hip flexor and the hamstring, put those hands down, nice big rotation, drop the down back to the knee, stretch out that hamstring, stand up, and we'll repeat one last time. Nice big knee hug, lunge on out, drop down to that knee, stretch out that hip flexor in the knee. All right. Oh, one more person in the room. Put that hand down, go ahead and rotate. Drop back onto that knee, stretch out that hamstring, stand up. And so now we'll switch sides. All right. So go ahead and grab that other knee, nice big high knee hug, okay? Get a good stretch through that upper glute and hamstring. Again, lunge out, stretch out that hip flexor, backside of the glute and hamstring again. Nice big tall rotation. Drop back onto that knee, stretch out that hamstring and that calf connection. Stand up and repeat 2 more. Again, nice big high knee hug. Lunge on out, stretch through that hip flexor and the glute, hand down, big rotation up through the top. Drop on back, stretch that hamstring and the calf. All right, one last time here. Big high knee hug. Lunge on out. Stretch that hip flexor and glute. Hand down. Rotate the opposite hand up nice and tall. Feel that tension ringing out through your back. Drop on back, hamstring and calf stretch. Beautiful. All right, so with that said and done, like I said, we're moving into unilateral movement concepts. We did that last week with the step down. Today, we're doing that with single leg RDLs, okay? We did the double leg RDL, all right, where we were hinging over, finding that nice hamstring stretch, nice solid back position, okay? We're gonna do the same thing with the single leg RDL today. So my recommendation, have something out in front of you for a little bit of balance, all right? And then the second thing is the range of motion does not need to be as far as you think, okay? So For example, a lot of people, when they do this movement, they drop it way down like this, and they're in this position here. Well, I'm not feeling any stretch in this hamstring. My back is rounded, and I'm not activating my glute. So the position we need to get to, all right, we need to straighten out that back, straighten out that bottom leg, squeeze that back glute, and find the stretch. That's the only position we're looking for, all right, is that stretch. The other thing is when people do this, they tend to open up the hips like this as they go through that movement. And again, that doesn't do anything for your hamstring or the glute medius, which is big in stabilizing you while running, all right? So if you can't do the balance component, like let's say even with the balance help, like you're still kind of falling over, you can go with what's called a Bulgarian RDL, and you can have that foot back as a stabilizer and just focus on balancing through this front leg, okay? And so all of my weight is in this front leg, and I'm just using this as a balancer, okay? We're gonna do 8 on each side, all right? If you're feeling really good, you can add a dumbbell or a kettlebell to this movement, all right? But we're gonna get right into it, all right? I'm gonna do it again, profiled to the camera. We're gonna go 3 sets of 8 today. And so we're gonna begin breathing in on the way down, breathing out as you come up. You can also add a balance challenge at the top, all right? So here we go. Breathing in as you go down, feel that stretch through the hamstring, hips nice and squared, headlights down to the ground, up. And again, you can add this balance challenge at the top and repeat. Breathing in on the way down, squeezing that backside glute to get the heel raised. Breathing out as you come up. Number 2. Again, we're going with a set of 8 here. All right. I like to say, own the movement. Don't let the movement own you, okay? Especially with balance movements, all right? If you can't reasonably balance yourself, all right, the movement is not going to do much for you. And so find the one that challenges your balance, but you're still able to get the intention of the movement. You're still able to feel that hamstring. You're still able to feel that glute stabilizing you. This is number 7. And last one, number 8. Very good. Go ahead. Switch sides. All right. Again, if you want some form correction, you can leave your comments or in the chat, or you can also put your video on screen. I'll be able to see that. But let's switch sides again. Down. Find the stretch through the hamstring. Squeeze the glute. Up to breathe. All right. In on the way down as you breathe. Out on the way up. Again, focusing on that balance as we go through this. Again, keeping the hips square down to the ground as we do this. Number 3, breathing in on the way down, breathing out on the way up. And it's okay if you have a little bit of wobbling. That's all right. That's your body's nervous system trying to find its positioning. All right. What's not okay is falling over. All right. Falling over is too much movement, not enough owning the movement. All right, last one here, number 8. All right, very good. Okay, take a small break. We're going to take about 30 to 45 seconds. Again, I'll remind you, if you have any comments or questions, leave them in the chat or put your video up, okay? I'm going to add a little bit of weight to this, okay? And again, you could have started on one of those easier options. You could have started with the Bulgarian RDL, and you're like, okay, well, that wasn't necessarily as challenging as I thought. Then you add your balance challenge, use that as, a bit of aid, okay? So that way, if you do have, a little bit of imbalance or you're falling over a little bit, you have a little bit of stability here, okay? I'm gonna add my kettlebell for this next round. If you do have a weight, it is in the opposite hand of the foot that is balancing for you, okay? So if you're balancing on your left, your right is holding the weight, all right? We're gonna be getting into this. I'm actually gonna start with my right side because that's my weaker side. All right, so here we go. Breathing in on the way down, feeling that stretch through the hamstring, breathing out on the way up, and repeat. Set of 8 here. Again, all you're looking for, stretch in that bottom hamstring. If you're not getting that stretch in the bottom hamstring, one of 2 things are going on. Either A, your back is rounding in the front, or B, your hips are not straight down towards the ground and you're flaring those hips out towards the opposite wall. which will limit the stretch on your hamstrings, okay? And again, your range of motion doesn't need to be necessarily as large as you would think it needs to be in order to get everything you need out of this movement. Last rep here. Good. And switch. All right. Right into it. Second side here. Again, breathing in on the way down. Find that hamstring stretch. Breathing out on the way up. And repeat. Own the movement. Don't let it own you. Find that balance. Find your control. Find the option that works best for you. That's 3. 4, halfway. 4 more. Very nice. Here we go. 3 more. Last 2. And 1 more. Very nice. Good. Take a small break again, 30 to 45 seconds, and then we'll go into our final round for this particular movement. Then we'll move on, all right? Next movement, okay, that you'll need is those handled bands, okay? If you don't have handled bands or you got a big loop, that'll work as well, all right? You just need somewhere to hook it, ideally about shoulder height or above, all right, for the next movement. But again, we're just prepping our mindset for what's moving forward, okay? But we got one more movement here with our weight or our RDL, our kettlebell, or again, body weight, if that's enough of a challenge for you. We're gonna roll right into it. Last round here, again, 8 per side. Okay, we're just gonna kind of roll right through this. You can tune my voice out, all right? Because it'll be the same stuff that we've been talking about. Here we go. Find that stretch, breathing in on the way down. Find that nice running position at the top if you need it, all right? Or if you can, find that balanced position, okay? Number 2. Here we go. That's halfway on this first side. Again, finding the stretch in that bottom hamstring, keeping the lifting leg glute active to extend that heel back up towards the ceiling. We got 2 more. Last one here. Very nice. Good. Go ahead. Switch sides right into it. All right. Opposite side. Somebody's got their microphone on. I can hear a little bit of tinning there in the background. All right. If that's you, go ahead. Turn your mic off just so we don't hear anything that we're not supposed to. All right. You might want to just check that real quick. All right. Because when these videos record, they record all the sound. And so when I post it, I want to make sure that, nobody's, children or dog or, God forbid, explicit word or anything goes through the background. All right. And so we're all adults here, but we want to make sure that we keep this a professional space and that everybody gets what they want out of this and that they can use this content as it comes out on YouTube and to you guys directly. All right. And so we got 3 more reps here. Last one. Very nice. Good. Go ahead and relax. You can either put your weight away, you can put your balance aid away. All right. Like I said, the next thing that we're going to grab, bandle that has hands, okay, handles, or again, if you don't have a handled band, but let's say you have one of these big loops, okay, that works as well. You just need to be able to hook it somewhere that is behind or that has enough space above or at your shoulders, okay? So I'm going to throw it up and over my pull-up bar here for this particular movement, all right? And so, again, our theme with the upper body almost always is posture, okay? Whether that's being nice and tall while we're running, whether that's being in a nice solid arrow position as we're on the bike, whether that's keeping, a long, strong torso while you're swimming, all right? So what we're going to be doing is we're going to take that handled band, we're going to hold the band here, we're going to pull the band down into this A position, all right? There's a progression to this movement where we'll go A, T, and Y, okay? We're starting with A's today. The whole point of this, nice big posture, we come into what's called neutral position, okay? Or anatomical position, which is palms forward here, all right? We're gonna go with sets of 10, all right? We're breathing out as we make the pull. We're breathing in as we return. The shoulders at no point should roll forward like this, all right? That's gonna put it down into your chest and your bicep. Pull that chest nice and wide open, all right? Here we go. Breathing out as we pull down. Breathing in as we return, okay? And again, notice how those lats pull down and back before we make that pull. Here we go. Number 3. Number 4. Here we go, halfway. So you should feel this right underneath your armpits in your lats. You should feel this at the back sides of your arms and your tricep. You should also feel this in your core. And that's why the breathing's important. That exhalation allows your body to really prime that diaphragm, engage that core. One last rep here. And relax, okay? So again, the breath is super important with strength movements. It creates this sort of canister, supports your spine, supports your core, that allows you to stay safe, all right? Especially hinging movements, especially in movements where you are loaded from the top, okay? Things like goblet squats, back squats, if you're with a barbell, front squats, keeps your back nice and safe, all right? So we create that nice canister by forcefully using the breath, all right? Your breath should be aggressive during strength training, all right? Big breaths in, big breaths out, okay? I was always told by my coach, breathe out like a snake, right? Push that air out, get that hiss going, all right? So here we go, all right? Round number 2, again, palms forward, hands back, all right? Shoulders back, 10 reps, here we go. That's 2. 3. Okay, open up those chests, right? Pull those shoulders back. Feel it through those shoulders. Feel it through those triceps. Feel that core stabilizing yourself, okay? We got 2 more. Last one here. Very nice, good. And relax. So range of motion here is probably the most important thing, as well as the positioning, all right? If your band is too tight and you're only pulling down to like here, it's not bad, all right? But the range of motion for that lat needs to come all the way through. Now imagine if we were swimming, right? And we came into the water and we started to make that pull, and we just stopped here and then just pulled our arm out again, right? Rather than pushing all the way through the back side of that stroke, right? We're going to lose a lot of water, right? We're going to lose a lot of propulsion. So train these specific movements like you would be training with your specific, training, whether that's on the bike, the run, or in the pool, all right? We got one last round here, all right? Our final set of 10. Here we go. Ready? That's 1. Use the breath like we talked about. Pull those shoulders nice and back. Open up the chest. That's 4. Halfway. 3 more. Here we go. Last one here. Very good. And relax. Go ahead. You can put that band away. Go ahead and get yourself a nice spot, whether that's the carpet, if you got a yoga mat, all right? Get yourself a spot to lay down on the floor here, all right? The last movement we are doing is called a reverse crunch, all right? With the reverse crunch, we are keeping the head on the ground. We'll be lifting the hips, okay? You've got some variations here as far as making it slightly easier versus making it harder, okay? So We're going to have the hands down at the sides of the body, okay? We're not going to put them underneath the butt, okay? Because that's going to kind of engage and allow your body to kind of push the lower back up off the ground. We want to have that back pressed down into the floor. So hands are going to be down at the sides, okay? So the easier option is bent knees like the entire time, okay? You're going to tap your heels down. You're going to lift those knees up and then lift your butt up off the ground, all right? Again, the whole time keeping that lower back pressed in. So the easiest option is lower, touch the heels and up, okay? Breathing in on the way down, out on the way up. The harder option is extend those legs out, pull those knees in and lift the butt up off the ground, all right? Again, breathing in as you reach, breathing out as you pull, okay? We're gonna go with a set of 10 here. Control that movement. Keep the tension in your core. Here we go, starting at the top, all right? Reach those legs out. Either tap the heels or reach, pull in and lift. All right, you should control on the way out. Have a little bit of speed on the way in to pop those hips off the ground and control back on the way down, all right? Again, we're doing a set of 10 here. Keep those hands pressing down into the ground. Again, that's going to engage those triceps, engage the upper core as we're using more of the bottom core and the hip flexors to do this movement. All right, we got 2 more. Last one here. Very good. And relax. Okay, take a small 30-second break and we're going to get right back into it. Okay, we got 2 more rounds of this. All right, with the core movement specifically, you don't need to take a lot of rest. Core, you can work pretty much every day of the week. All right, your core as well as your calves, all right, are like working all the time. All right, and so there's almost never a moment throughout your day, unless you're like sitting all the time, that your calves are really taking a break, okay? But your core working all the time, sitting up, okay, standing up, running, swimming, biking, working all the time. So that core needs to be strong and it needs to resist fatigue. So here we go, round number 2. Same thing, all right? Hands pressed down, breathing out as you lift up, breathing in as you go out. Here we go, set of 10. Press those hands down and breathe in. Breathe out. Use again that little bit of speed and momentum to pop those hips up off the ground. That's halfway. 5 more. 3 more. Last one here. Very good. Take a small break. All right. And so if that core is truly engaged the whole time, pardon me, it's going to burn. All right. Even with just 10 reps, I don't care how fit you are. If you're engaging that core the proper way, that's going to burn. All right. And so that back, that lower back has to be pressed into the ground the entire time. Okay. There's no break in it. All right. And so the only time that your back is not touching the ground is when your hips have popped off the ground, all right? So we got 1 more rep like that or 1 more set like that. Again, we're building up a little bit of fatigue, so we're right back into it. Hands pressed down into the floor, okay? Starting up at the top, breathing in as we reach, breathing out as we lift. Again, use that little bit of speed, a little bit of momentum to pop those hips off the ground. That's halfway. 5 more. Here we go. 4 more. 2 more. Last one here. Very nice. And relax. All right. Very good work. So that is it as far as the strength component goes. Okay. We got our backside work with the unilateral RDLs. All right. Single leg RDLs. We got our postural work through the A pull downs. All right. The straight arm pull downs. And then we got our core work in through these reverse crunches here. We are going to finish up today by working on the quads. All right. We got the foam roller. We're going to roll out the quads here. this is the time of year where we put in a lot of, effort on the bike, whether it's the high intensity intervals to start building up some of the strength. It's the low gear work to build some of that, specific strength as well, as far as just grinding the gears, or it's just a lot of miles, depending on, if you're going from, big training volume to more fast racing, or if you're going from high intensity to longer endurance stuff like Ironman, right? So we're going to take that foam roller. All right, we're going to set that down on the ground. We're going to lay down on top of it here. I like to start down at the kneecaps, all right, with my forearms down like so, all right? So what I say is go fishing, all right? Find the spots that are sensitive to you, all right? When you find a spot that is particularly sensitive, okay, you're going to pause there. You're going to do two things. The first one is you are going to bend and extend. If both legs at the same time are a little sensitive, you can go one leg at a time, bend and extend. All right. What that does is it lengthens and shortens the muscle under pressure. The second thing you're going to do is you're going to rock side to side on that spot. All right. And so you got 4 quadriceps, all right, and they form a little tube. All right. And so just by going back and forth, you're only hitting the center one of them, all right, instead of all 4. All right. You might be getting the second one because it's underneath the first one, but we got to get all 3 side to side. IT band, vastus lateralis, vastus medialis, okay? And you're going to do that all the way up until you're like up into your groin and hip flexors, all right? Again, find those areas, bend and extend those legs, grind those quads out side by side. All right, so take some time here. Focus on that, all right? So the work we do here, the work you do in swim, bike, run, all right, it's only as good as your recovery. If you are not recovering from your workouts, you're not getting any better, all right? And so imagine this, all right? You went out and you did a 20-minute FTP test, okay? They suck to begin with, all right? You get your number, all right? Now you do another 20-minute FTP test the very next day. What are the chances that you go better than today? Almost none, because you have already broken down your body, right? Imagine doing an Ironman day 1 and then coming back and doing an Ironman day 2. The likelihood that you go faster is almost 0, all right? So what we need to do, we need to do the work, do the test, do the race, recover, take advantage of it, train some more, then come back and do it again. All right, what's the likelihood we go faster then? Probably pretty good, especially if we're healthy, we're strong, and we're fit. All right, and we made it there without any illness. So I want to thank everybody again for coming. I'll be sticking around for the next couple minutes. Again, if you want any questions answered, please go ahead, type them in the chat, or you can pop yourself up on the screen and I'll be able to see and talk directly to you. But we've got, this good thing coming here. Obviously, thank you. Awesome. Great. Thank you, Kirsten. And so please, please, please tell everybody about this. All right. If you're here today, all right, starting next week, all right, we are going to start putting together a little raffle for you guys that show up. And so I'm going to take head count and write down who's in the chat every single week, all right? At the end of February, all right, if you have been on the chat consistently, all right, you're going to get an opportunity to have multiple raffle tickets to come get an assessment done, all right? And so please encourage people to come, all right? If you found this valuable, chances are somebody else will as well, unless you're like, well, if I tell more people to come, then that means there's more raffle tickets. That means I have less of a chance to win the thing, right? But I would encourage everybody to come, all right? Maybe you are being a little selfish, which I don't blame you. I mean, this is a pretty cool thing that we do here in terms of helping you get healthy, fast, and strong, all right? And so, but again, thank you all for coming today. Please come. Please invite some people for next week, all right? Every day or every Tuesday in February, we're going to be taking a head count just so we know who's got raffle tickets available for a complimentary movement assessment. So again, thank you all for coming today, and I will see you all next week. Have a good one. Bye-bye.